Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be bringing to you more conspiracy plans, theories, which, a lot of those are actually not. But we're gonna dive into a few topics. Before I start my video, I would like to say a huge thank you again to Ajmal or Ahmal, to Marie, G. Marie. Thank you, G. Marie, for your very, very generous donation. I appreciate. To Gary, for your recent donations on PayPal. I very, very much appreciate. I'm truly, truly touched by your generous support. So let's start with the first topic that I have for you today. Many of you have been requesting for me to address the plan that is called Kalergi plan, I think if I pronounce the name correctly, and that is about right here, Kalergi plan. I'm gonna read you this first because this is just, they're gonna say it's conspiracy, this and that. However, what we are witnessing right now is actually the perfect execution of this plan. So the Kalergi plan, sometimes called the Coudenhove-Kalergi conspiracy, we often hear this word lately, right? Is a debunked, far-right, anti-Semitic, white genocide conspiracy theory. So there must be some truth in it, if so many words were used for the description. The theory claims that Austrian-Japanese politician Richard von Coudenhove-Kalergi, creator of the Pan-European Union, so the European Union, concocted a plot to mix and replace white Europeans with other races via immigration. The conspiracy theory is most often associated with European groups and parties, but it has also spread to North American politics. So let's take a listen to this very interesting summary of that plan.
The Jews want to exterminate the European race. Richard Coudenhove-Kalergi, who is the father of the European Union and who was funded by the Jewish bankers Rothschild and Warburg. Now, this man wrote a book called Praktischer Idealismus in 1925, in which he stated that the Jews are a master race and that the Jews can only assume the throne, rule over the world, by weakening the European race, and that the means to weakening the European race would be to dissolve all the European nations, destroy all their cultural heritage and their national traditions, and replace that with the European Union, and then to invite in Africans, Middle Easterners, and Asians to dilute the blood of Europeans through miscegenation to the point where they became a degenerate mixed race. And then at that point, these people would no longer have any sense of nationhood, and the ancient Jewish messianic prophecies of world rule out of Jerusalem, with Jews maintaining their nationhood and their national status, it would fulfill the Jewish messianic prophecies that the Jews could then rule the world. And this was completely in line with what Nikolai had written in 1917 and has manifested itself recently with the invasion of immigrants from Africa, from the Middle East, and from Asia into Europe, America, and Australia. And they are deliberately setting about to genocide the white race and destroy all sense of nationhood and of national heritage and national culture in each of our. Very clear that the Jews want.
So that's the plan, and how interesting that this is actually what is happening in Europe. And I absolutely believe this is the plan. Many of you were mentioning this. So here was a quick summary. Now I want to take you to a map because I am at this point coming to absolute realization that what we are witnessing right now, it's happening to confuse us, to divide us, and to make us pick up the sides as far as the West or the East. Meanwhile, this project, behind the scenes, this is all being agreed. This is my opinion. I know many of you will probably not agree with this, but if that plan that I was just presenting to you is one of those plans, there is another plan as well, which is the return of the great Khazaria, so the new great Israel, that actually they want even to go much, much lower there. But this is the original site. So let's look at this. We have Crimea here. We have Kiev right here. So Kiev is actually on the edge, on the border of it. And there is also, I think Odessa will be probably part of it too. So now let's look. So keep this in mind. I will attach the link down below in the description box. Now let's go to another map, and this is the map of the current Ukraine. Let's look at the borders now. We have, as you see, this is the borderline, but we know that Russia has already so-called liberated some regions here. And I think ultimately they will go all the way to Kiev, and they're gonna do this. Like, you see what I'm going with my cursor here? This will be, in my opinion, a lot of the Jewish population will be moving there to those regions, as well as even returning to these regions here as they are doing right now and occupying it. So the project is, at this moment, to remove as many white people as possible, to migrate them in whatever direction they choose to migrate them. So ultimately, the borders will be set, I think, in my opinion, very close to the original borders of the Khazaria, as you saw in previous map. Meanwhile, Europe is going to be not just destroyed by what they are doing with the migration, but as well as economically and as well as militarily, because they're going to create the conflict that will also help them. They're already, pushing this narrative, playing the game that one is the aggressor, one is the victim, and then they present a different narrative on the other side of the coin. At the end of the story, the ultimate result will be the new great Israel. And I want to take you now to the video that is addressing this from the perspective of US, as far as US engagement in this. And I say US, I don't mean the American people. I mean those, let's call them Zionists, who absolutely run all those operations from both sides. And for us, we are watching this and we are believing that some sides are better than the other, which behind closed doors, many deals are made that no one will hear about, maybe, maybe less than 100 years, because now it's a different technology. People will, or they will very soon realize. But before we go there, I actually just reminded myself of this, guys. So let me show you this person first. Where do I have this? Let's see. I know this is another conspiracy, but why not? Do you see this person here? I will not call him gentleman, because this is the father, the leader of the Zionism. His name is Theodor Herzl. You see the picture right here. So now let me take you to another very interesting image. And I don't believe in coincidences at all. I actually believe that things start to make sense. The striking similarities between this person and this person. You remember this guy? He was shaking hands with a lot of world leaders, with Trump, lately with Putin. striking similarities. To the left is Theodor Herzl, the founder of modern political Zionism, and to the right, Giuliani or Yolani, I don't even know how you say his name, the current president of Syria. How interesting, huh? Of course, it's just conspiracy. Anyway, let's go to the video to hear from someone who was talking about the current days 20 years ago.
Have some very important work to do for Israel. I can identify tonight two very important things that the United States has to do for Israel. There are many more, but there's no need to do more than simply two. In order for Israel to succeed the United States as a ruling state in the world, not only must the US economy collapse and the US dollar collapse, and when the US dollar collapses, it brings down the whole world of paper money with it. And if you don't believe me, just wait. Just wait. Not only must the United States collapse its economy and its money, but in addition, Israel has to wage a big war, which even non-Muslim political analysts are now anticipating. A big war. Even Jews now within Israel, I'm getting emails, even Jews within Israel, Jewish academics who are in opposition to the Sharon government, they are now understanding that there's something big about to happen. And they're warning the world about it. Of course, it's too late now. Israel has to wage this big war, which is already planned long ago. And the territory of the state of Israel will dramatically expand. And the Palestinian problem will be solved because they'll be exported out. That is the massive human rights crime that the Israeli academics are now anticipating and warning the world about. But in addition, in order for Israel to become the ruling state in the world, not only must she take control of all of this territory, she must also control the oil. States have some
must also control the oil. So that's another plot that is very interesting. And I don't think I really want to go into that direction today because it's another yellow brick road to take to the wizard, another wizard. I think there are many roads to different wizards that ultimately lead to the same wizard or lizard, I should say. So let's look at another clip that I came across because this one just doesn't hold it. He just makes pure, clear statements right here.
They think we're bluffing. We go forward with it. We have the right to use any and all weapons in our disposal, academically speaking, nuclear weapons. And I'm tired of using euphemisms. I'm tired of saying, well, we have something, in the basement, but we won't be the first to introduce nuclear weapons in the Middle East. It's enough already. I said, no, let me bring you back to October 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, when Henry Kissinger instituted an arms embargo against us. And what happened? An A-4 Skyhawk was parked at Tel Nof Air Base with some interesting weapons under its wings, and we told the Americans, take your eye in the sky and take a good look at the airplane that's on that runway.
So in other words, we threatened their...
We threatened to use unconventional weapons. I'll leave it at that. And so he said, is this what you want us to threaten now? I said, absolutely, except this time I want us to go forward with it if necessary. They think we're bluffing. We go forward with it. We have
So there you have it, everyone. I don't think we should be surprised. In my opinion, there will be. Well, let's start with this here. I see this at this point as an absolute illusion. They are all playing us from both sides. Whatever arguments they are giving now to justify the number of people dying on one side or the other, it's at this point, I don't trust it anymore because I see that there are greater projects in the making. And for them, continuation of the war from this side or the other serves different purposes. I know, many will say no, because this is just about, those who support Ukraine, which, I don't support this side at this point, and I don't support another side. I support no more wars, and I support humanity. But it looks like if Zionists are running the governments, and if you think they are not, well, it's clearly they are, and they have another project here in the making. So that's certain areas of Ukraine to belong to the new Great Israel, new Khazaria. People gonna move there. We're gonna have absolutely some conflict in the Middle East because it is necessary for another project to take place in that region, in the Middle East. Some oil business will be, and I'm not professional, so I cannot even phrase it in a way how the professional people phrase it, but I'm just a regular person, and I think that's actually where the strength is in us regular people, because we outnumber those people who are playing those games. But again, the prices for oil, the inflation, new economical systems, all of this is connected. And even if you think that there's another project that's going to be better, is actually, in my opinion, absolutely not. It might give you the illusion. But you will still have to be under the boot of the government, because they have to check you, they have to control you, they have to decide, decide with a digital ID if you're good or if you're not. They will decide for the prices of oil, of other things, and if necessary, they will also recruit you, and they will have a conscription, so you have to go to the army and sacrifice yourself because they have to make another deal so they can make more money and hold on to power. That's how I see it. And in the meantime, they will be trying to absolutely remove the Slavic nations, white people, not just Slavic, but white people in every other country that is possible, including US, Australia, Europe. And it's actually what's happening in the regions of Russia as well, right? I mean, Ukrainians that are, certain bloodlines, that's what's going to happen. That's how I see it. I know a lot of people might not agree with it, but we have to sometimes step away just from one opinion or another, take a distance and look at it. Like, if they are talking about it already for hundreds of years, if not longer than that, this is their project. And if you see the people who are shaking hands with the so-called leaders of the countries, people who are going to visit this satanic wall in Israel, if you go to the wall, if you lit the Hanukkah or menorah, whatever you call it, that's it. It just says everything to me. So I don't care how people justify it. There's no justification. You're part of the club. End of story. I will attach the link down below in the description box. And tomorrow, probably, we're going to look at the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, another conspiracy. But it's all connecting the dots. And maybe we end with one more video today. So let me take you to this lady. She's addressing this from like the approach to Christians, but I think we have to look at this as humanity, not religion, this or that. As Christians, it's not just the case. This is about the white race.
Most of these Christians are not familiar with the Talmud, Zohar, and Kabbalah, and where this 613 mitzvot comes from and what they're all about. So I started to study what they're about and what the Talmud teaches, and I noticed that there is actually a plan, there is a plot, and that's a plot against Christianity. Let me bring you one of the books here, The Secret Doctrine in Israel by Waiti. And what it explains is the basically secret doctrine of the Zohar, what is behind Zohar, and you have to understand that the soul of the Talmud is Zohar, and the soul of Zohar is Kabbalah. But in this particular book, I just want to read you a little bit what got me understanding what the plot is against Christianity. It says here, according to the Midrash Talpidoth, the Messiah will bring eternal peace, which of course was understood by the Israelites as peace for Israel, plus that which may follow extermination for all who did not enter by conversion into the house of Jacob. So basically what they teach is that if Gentiles or Christians do not attach themselves to the Jews, they will be exterminated. And of course, we are well known for our Noahide laws, that we brought this to a light. So then you go to Talmud and you start reading what is the plan for Gentiles. You see, Judaism is a two-tier system. Judaism puts the wall of partition back. It's the Jews and non-Jews. And according to Judaism, non-Jews are different species. Most of these Christians.
So I'm not an expert in this, but allegedly that's the case, probably some truth in it, but then you see how many people of that certain belief system are in the governments nowadays, or are surrounded by people like that she just described. And again, I want to emphasize, this is not just about Christianity, this is about humanity, because, you know, Vatican is above many, many other things. Maybe we should record a video another time about Vatican, because that's a very loaded topic. But that's how I see it, guys. And they infiltrated, I mean, I wouldn't even say, they never really let go of their power. They just changed the outfits, the names. They maybe look a little bit different, but they are still running that show. And the question is this our last lifetime here on this planet? I have to share something very personal with you before I end this video. Yesterday, I'm kind of person who doesn't really, especially in the last years, I don't really get angry. I think I am old enough, mature enough to manage my emotions. I can be passionate, I can be excited, but I don't really get like really angry. And yesterday I was experiencing a very, very strange day. The energy was very intense, very chaotic, and I actually get very angry yesterday. I had personal situation with some neighbors, let's just say how it was, and I was pretty much outraged, which does not happen to me at all at the last years at all. I can, like I said, be frustrated, but never angry like that. So I think it comes to this point when you ask yourself, you know, you might be wondering what is the best place for you to live, or where shall you move in the world? And you think, okay, you know, this government is corrupted, this one's corrupted, because at the end of the day, all of them are pursuing the same agenda. On the surface, it might look more glamorous, but they all are after digital ID, full control. It's just the question how soon and what kind of bow it will be wrapped up in, what packaging it will be delivered in, more luxurious or less luxurious. And when I was thinking about it, I'm thinking to myself, and I said this before in one of my videos, you know, it's like it come to this realization, like you just want to be out of it. You just want to be out of all of it, because you don't trust at this point any politician, any leader, you know that you have to really put your trust in God and know that no matter where you will be divinely protected. And if this is the end for you, for your sole purpose in this life experience, in this timeline, maybe that's it, you know? Or perhaps something will happen, some divine intervention that will help us to go to this next stage and separate from this level of experience that majority of people will be experiencing. And I'm sure a lot of you will understand what I just expressed to you, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who is going through this thought process and asking those questions, very existential questions. But sometimes you feel like it's better to be ignorant and naive and not know what's going on, because to some extent you are not too well informed, which means it's easier in a way. It's easier to live your life. But you know, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you know, you already know. So you just keep on going deeper and finding out more stuff. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you still want to stay subscribed to my channel, check your subscription, because the topics that I'm lately addressing, some people are unsubscribing, and of course, some people are not unsubscribing. Someone else is unsubscribing them. So check your subscription. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It's free of charge, and it helps, of course, to some extent with the algorithm. Leave the comments down below and let me know. Thank you for your suggestions, for your ideas, for bringing things to my awareness that I am learning about and I didn't know about. And definitely thank you so much for all your support, all your donations on PayPal, joining my Patreon. That is huge help for me. Monthly support, as well as super chats, lives, and super thanks. And that's all for today. Links are down below in the description box. Just scroll down under the video. If you have Instagram, make sure to follow me there as well. The link is down below as well. And lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge. We are. And we are saving humanity. Bye, everyone. See you in the next video.